Hello and welcome back to Dumb Slate, a podcast about movies. My name is Felix and I'm your host. We only have 4 minutes and 20 seconds, so let's get started. Today we're talking about Kinds of Kindness, written and directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. The film is starring Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe, Margaret Qualley, Hong Chow, and Mamoudou Alfi. Kinds of Kindness is an anthology of 3 different short films with the same cast playing different characters in each. I'm going to start this off saying I do have a bias and affinity for Yorgos. I love all of his films. He gives us this universe that is just outside of our own reality and all of his written and directed stuff. They're so unique and unguessable. Even with Poor Things, which was adapted from a book, he went off script from the original ending. He essentially has these experimental, weird indie films that are getting great budgets, great casts, and I love the pace at which he's pumping them out, with another film slated for 2025, also featuring Emma Stone for their 4th collaboration in a row. While I did like this film, I think I expected something different walking out of the theater, and while I knew it was 3 different short stories, I just expected some shocking twist, finding them all to be related in some way, or something carrying over into each story, but it's just 3 random stories back to back, with the same characters playing different casts, which is not a problem. Again, short films are really fun. You don't get them in theaters nowadays, so it was really cool to see this. You really have to, search for them. Netflix is doing a great job of actually showcasing a little bit more short films. Anyway, what is unique about each film is that the amount of backstory that Yorgos had to make in order to get the depth of universe within each. It felt like he condensed a 3-hour film into 40 minutes. The first of the 3, The Death of RFM, follows Jesse Plemons, who lets this man, played by Willem Dafoe, control everything he does in his waking minutes, from when he brushes his teeth, when he fucks, and even getting an accident that could have lost his life. If I was to use an analogy to explain these, or a metaphor, I guess, to explain these Yorgos films, guys, I'm so high. This is like my 5th take, and I take a hit between every single take. I think the metaphor would be a Michelin star restaurant. It's going to be these flavors, textures, and pairings you have never gotten before, but you're going to be like, fuck, this is good. That's each of these films, and The Death of RFM was just an appetizer. The second story, RFM is Flying, is probably my favorite of the 3. Emma is presumed lost or even dead after a military aircraft accident, but on a surprise return home, her husband Jesse realizes it's not his wife at all, but a completely different being. Jesse crushed this one. He almost slowly loses his mind, but is completely correct in his assumption. And it has so many funny and weird moments, such as Jesse, Mamoudou, and Margaret all sitting around watching a sex tape orgy, Emma Stone confessing what happened to her on an island ruled by dogs, and then Emma cooking her own body parts to satisfy her husband. I don't have that much time left, but the third short, RMF Eats a Sandwich, those names also have no fucking meaning, by the way, but this one is awesome because Willem Dafoe is a sex cult leader that fucks all of his members. Emma and Margaret were super fun to watch on screen together, and the funny dance Emma does at the end is absolutely iconic. On to the important things. My rating, 4.5. Average rating, 3.4. Honestly, higher than I expected for some reason. I feel that some people would hate it, but the Yorgos fans really came through. Favorite Letterboxd review, Part 1, Willem Dafoe. Part 2, Willem to Friend. Part 3, Willem to Freak. Is this film stoner friendly? I don't think I really even have to say it. Would you watch with your parents? I did mention there's a big orgy scene, didn't I? Anyway, guys, we are almost out of time. I want to thank y'all so much for watching. Join us next Monday at 4:20, where we're going to have our last review of an actual film from 2024. I'm going to have 13 episodes, but the last episode this season is going to be a 2024 in review, as well as some Grammy talks. Anyway, we're going to be covering Nosferatu next week by Robert Eggers, and cut. We're literally smoking and talking about movies.